All right, so our first fight, we've got Ariel Helwani. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's Aiemann Zahabi. Dude looks like him. I'm just going to say it. And Javid Basharat. Looking at these two fight, big age difference here. I man, counters to the chin for KOs. That's a big thing for him. He's got some crazy striking power. He does have clunky footwork. And footwork is one of those things I feel like it's talked a lot about in boxing and very little in MMA. The way you move in the ring, it's a big deal. It is a big deal, and I don't think his footwork's very good at all. I think he can get caught. Hesitant hands. This dude's not going to just go in there flying around. He's little action bomb seeker. It's a lot like what we saw with Moreno last week. Dude, he's not going to beat you by volume. He's not a Marab. He's going to try to knock you out. We see that with his high knockout rate. Basharat, always calm. It doesn't matter if you're striking, you're in the middle of a grapple. He's just calm, collected, thinking about what to do next. He can win in any style, knockout, decision, sub, smooth, and a step ahead, which I think is going to be a really, really big factor in this fight. He's got great movement in all four directions, which is the exact opposite of what I was saying with the footwork with Zahabi. I just don't see Zahabi really having much of a chance in this one, and neither does Vegas. Looking at how heavy of a favorite Basharat is. Zahabi, I know he comes from like a family line of people that are pretty big in the MMA community. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I see Basharat ending this one, so I'm going to take the double method, the KO sub at plus 175. I making a minus 800, a plus 175. I love it. I don't think Zahabi's able to get out of it, especially if Basharat's able to get his hands on him and turn this into a grappling match. What do you think, Bobby?
I love it as well. There's not much for me to disagree with on this particular fight. I will have some tricks up my sleeve for a few other fights on this card with disgusting odds, but unfortunately not this particular fight. Aiemann Zahabi, little brother of Firas Zahabi, GSP's coach, Roy McDonald's coach, pretty much any good Canadian fighter he's coached. He's based out of TriStar in Montreal. Great gym. Took a tour there once. Amazing gym, amazing atmosphere. Really great guy. Really knowledgeable coach, but as Ben said, just doesn't really translate to his little brother's MMA career for whatever reason. So that's proof positive right there that no matter, the resources, the guidance, et cetera, you have, sometimes it just didn't work out in MMA for you. And then sometimes those individuals that don't have those things, it works out for them. So it all just depends. It's really hard to predict. It's really hard to figure out who's going to be successful and who's not. But I think looking at Zahabi, another thing that stood out to me was how inactive he's been. He's been in the UFC since February of 2017. He fought twice in 2017. One was a unanimous decision win. The other, he was knocked out by a spinning elbow from Ricardo Ramos. Didn't fight again until 2019. Only fought once, lost by unanimous decision. Another 2-year layoff, February 2021, KO punch win. Another long layoff, July 9th, 2022, unanimous decision over Ricky Tercios, who we talked about last week, and then didn't fight until last year, June 10th last year, KO win over Ari Keeling. Don't know how to say it. That's all I'm going to say. And that's it. That's his whole UFC career right there. That is everything. And there's just not much to go off of. And I don't know why he's been so inactive. I don't know if there's injury history. I don't know if there's like a focus issue, like he's just not that, involved in his career. I don't know. I have no idea why he's so inactive, but it's very discouraging and not really a good sign to be so inactive when you've been in the UFC for so long at this point. And I just think Basharat's on the up and up. And I think even though the odds are disgusting, I completely 100% agree with doubling up on the finishes, because I do think it would be a finish because you're not going to get much on decision if you just want to go decision by itself at minus 165. But I just think Basharat's better. Him and his brother really seem to be like they're kind of the next generation of up-and-coming fighters, hot prospects. And Zahabi's just kind of been a guy who I've said time and time again about individuals like this in MMA just kind of seems stagnant right now. So not much else for me to add.
I love it, dude. And talking about Basharat's record also that you're seeing, Bobby, there are 6 undefeated fighters on this card, which as a smaller card too, that's insane.
Yes, definitely a lot of undefeated talent. And that's a good thing because this is a good match. Don't get me wrong. This is actually, I have to constantly praise it when I see it because the UFC for the past few years has been so terrible, in my humble opinion, with matchmaking. I do have to also call out good matchmaking. This is good to see who moves on in the bantamweight division and who does take that next step. And Zahabi could easily fool me and make me look like an idiot and take that next step. But I just think Basharat's going to be the guy to continue on, and Zahabi's just going to really have to make a decision about how serious he is at 36 years old of making a serious attempt at an MMA career at this point with how inactive he's been.
I 100% agree, man.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover old spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.